Greetings, fellow Gorehounds, and welcome back to Blood Splattered Vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And today we're going to talk about Smile 2 from writer-director Parker Finn.
Yeah, it's Lady Gaga meets the Smile Monster.
Basically, yeah.
All right, okay, cool. I think we're done here.
There we go. We did it.
Did it.
Fame Monster the movie.
Okay, there's more to the movie than that. But that's the basic setup.
Smile 2 takes place a week after Smile 1 and follows a character named Sky Riley, who's very much a Lady Gaga-esque avant-garde pop star who is setting up her comeback tour when she finds herself being haunted not only by a car accident that she suffered that caused her to have to go off the grid for a while, but also because she's being haunted by the Smile entity, Lollipop as she was called behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And the Smile entity has chosen her after an unfortunate incident with her drug dealer.
Yep.
So yes, that is the basic idea of this movie. It does exactly what you want a horror sequel to do.
Yeah.
The scares are bigger, the effects are bigger, and the stakes are higher. And it does all those things pretty flawlessly, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the same movie with a much glitzier look to it.
That's also true, yeah.
Yeah. The monster does do different things.
It does.
Does escalate the entity in a way that a sequel should.
Yes, 100%. If the first one was about depression, right?
Yeah.
It was about a person suffering through depression and the entity was kind of a metaphor for it, but it was still its own monster.
Yeah.
This movie does a similar thing, except it's about fame. You're following a character who is a far worse person than the character from the first movie, but the movie still does a good job of putting you in their headspace, so you're not entirely unempathetic to what they're going through.
Yeah.
But they are tangibly worse.
Oh, yeah. No, the main character she's completely emotionally dysregulated before the monster shows up.
Absolutely. And the monster just amplifies things and kind of plays to that.
Yeah.
The fact that she is so unlikable to a lot of people just allows the monster to isolate her more.
Yeah. It has an easier job isolating her.
And the end result of all this is that it's a far crueler movie.
Oh, it's mean. The first movie was kind of mean. This one is just mean.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, you look at this and you go okay, this character is far worse than the original person. And the original person had a pretty terrible fate if you get to the end of that movie.
Yeah.
So,
but you didn't feel like she kind of deserved it.
Whereas you watch this movie and the more the movie goes on, you're like, no, Sky, you kind of have been the problem in your own life.
Yeah, you kind of are the problem in your own life.
Now, to a certain extent, your mom, which when we get to the spoilers, we'll talk more about that, is also part of the problem.
Yeah, but there's a point at which, it's no longer about the way your mom behaves, it's about the way you behave.
Well, yeah, it's the cycle of abuse, right?
Yeah.
You were emotionally stunted and abused by your mom, but now you're inflicting that same kind of emotional stuntness and abuse on the people around you.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of the movie, you're not sure if it's just because of the Smile monster, but as the movie goes on, it becomes very clear, no, you were like this before that.
Yeah.
Addiction as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because she is a full-on drug addict.
Yeah. She's a recovering drug addict, but because of the car crash, she also has legitimate pain problems.
Yeah, 100%.
So she's caught in this cycle she can't really get out of, where it's either relapse or be in constant chronic pain, which is not enviable.
It's not a great position to be in. That's
not a great position to be in.
No.
You just that's the part where you're sort of like, ooh, yeah, that's fate fucking with you.
Yeah, 100%. A couple things about this movie really stick out for me, though. The camera work in this movie was top notch.
Oh yeah, you could of course, it was clearly inspired by Neon Demon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I can totally see that.
So we got a lot of the Refn going on, a lot of Refn style.
Well, we get a lot of wide angle lenses and a lot of tracking shots and a lot of elaborate choreography.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense because not only do you have actual choreography in the movie because she's a pop star, so she's doing all these dance sequences, and the demon plays upon that in her nightmares.
Yes.
But you also just have like really cool like choreography with like chase sequences and like things like that like going on in this movie.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're done in like one really long take with a really wide lens, so you can really see everything.
Yeah.
There's also like a lot of really cool like transitions and stuff. Like I really like this one point where it transitions from these elevators opening to this like top-down shot of like a car pulling up. The other thing that really sticks out for me in this movie is that normally when you do a movie and you have like someone who makes music within the movie and the movie isn't about the music is usually extremely mid.
Yeah. This is actually like high mid to good.
Yeah, the music is actually very listenable in this.
One of the things I also kind of like is while clearly this character is based off Lady Gaga, it's not supposed to like be her.
No, it's not.
It's not supposed to be her in any way.
They take little things from various pop stars, but it's very obvious not a commentary on any of them.
Yeah, no. It might be a commentary on the nature of being a pop star.
Oh, yeah.
Not a specific one.
Naomi Scott, who plays Sky Riley, gives like the performance of her life in this movie.
Oh, yeah. She disappears.
Like she is completely like on the verge of an utter meltdown throughout this entire movie, and it never gets repetitive.
No.
I do think one mounting problem with the Smile franchise. So much of these movies are built around the creature causing people to hallucinate things that aren't there. And so most of these scenes, and this was true of the first movie too, is them seeing something that no one else can see and then kind of waking up later.
Yeah, so how do you sustain that?
How do you sustain that? How do you escalate that? And how do you make that work? So far in this movie, they escalated it really well. There's a lot of like what I would call Candyman-like scenes.
Yes.
Where it's like she has the hallucinations, they're horrifying, but then she wakes up into another nightmare because there's something she did while she was hallucinating. And I'm like, okay, that's a great way to make the hallucinations tangible outside of the nightmare.
Right. Due to where this movie leaves off, there's a natural progression to where they would go with the third one, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if they can pull it off.
If they do, it'll be amazing.
Oh, it'll be a masterpiece.
But it will be, they're going to bite off a lot more than I think they could chew, but we'll see.
Yeah, because first of all, I'm just thinking of the budget of that and just going, I don't know that you can do that.
I don't know either, but I'm willing to see them try.
Yeah, definitely I feel like everyone would be better for the attempt.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Smile 2 is currently available on various streaming platforms to rent or buy. Check it out for yourself, pick your poison, and enjoy. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, we're going to move on to the spoiler section so we can talk about all the things that we didn't talk about in this non-spoiler section, such as that ending we just alluded to.
Yeah.
So here we go.
If you know anything about the Smile Monster, you probably have figured out what it's after. Because of the way the curse works, you got the curse.
Yeah.
You kill yourself in front of somebody.
Yep.
The monster then jumps into that other person.
Yep. It doesn't even have to be you killing yourself, though that's usually a part of it.
That's usually it.
You have to you have to cause some sort of trauma for that other person that usually involves someone
dying. Yeah.
So like at the beginning of this movie, the survivor of the original movie, the cop, played by Kyle Gallner, who has a cameo at the beginning of this movie, he tries to pass it on to this drug dealer by killing the drug dealer's brother in front of him.
Yeah.
But he ends up accidentally killing both drug dealers, and the witness of that happening ends up getting infected by seeing that happen. And that's before Kyle Gallner even kills himself.
Yes.
So it is possible to do it without killing yourself, though the creature will eventually kill you no matter what.
Yeah.
You will eventually be undone by the creature one way or another.
Yeah, because we haven't seen anyone escape it yet.
Yep.
Unless you come up with a really good rationale for how someone could escape this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that watching it happen would be very satisfying.
The only answer is going to have to be, in all of these movies, they've tried to rely on like the science of it.
It would have to be straight up magic.
Yeah, the point in which this franchise actually moves to the characters responding with magic to it is when they're finally going to find a solution to it, if at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a horror franchise, so they might never find a solution to it.
Yeah, they might never find a solution.
It's like Final Destination. They never found a solution to it.
True, but like, unlike Final Destination, there are only so many times you could watch something happen that doesn't doesn't really happen.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know, like
that's what I meant by like the mounting problem with this franchise is that as much as I like these two movies and I do like them a lot of the horror is stuff that didn't actually happen.
Yeah, that's how the monster works. So you're like, well, why would it want a pop star? Well, so it can infect hundreds, if not thousands of people in a single go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the reason why it spreads itself is it feeds on all the negative thoughts that are going on in your mind. So the more you're dealing with, the more trauma you have, the more it feeds on you.
Yeah.
That's what makes this monster so horrifying. It picks people out that are going through trauma and it transfers itself through traumatizing them further.
Yeah. The end of this movie is her killing herself on stage and infecting the entire audience. Cut, credits, perfect way to end the movie.
Oh, perfect.
But if you're going to do a third one...
Where it goes worldwide?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
It's that big. First of all, you can't single character that story. You would have to actually come up with like a small, like a group of people who are all trying to figure out a way to stop this from happening while it happens constantly.
I can foresee a version of the movie where you're following a character and they realize that it happened ever since that concert and they find more people who went to that concert who is all having it happen to them and doing it that way. I can foresee that approach.
Yeah, Dream Warriors it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
exactly.
like that would be a great solution.
Which would probably be a budget-friendly way to do that.
Yeah.
Who knows? This movie made a lot of money, and the first one made a lot of money, so they might up the budget next time around.
Yeah.
Because they definitely did with this one. Like, some of the stuff they do in this movie, being chased by a million fucking people smiling, doing this weird dance choreography while they're coming at you scene, that obviously it was a sign of an upped budget.
Look, all I'm saying is if they're going to do a third one, they're going to have to come up with some Junji Ito level escalation insanity.
That would be wild.
Which I would totally watch.
I would totally watch it. I kind of hope they do.
Yeah, but that's a tall
It's
order.
a very tall order.
You
Almost
know?
as tall as the fucking demon when you see it.
Oh,
I mean, we saw it in the
geez.
first movie, but I feel like in this movie, you get a wider shot of it.
Oh, yeah.
So we see how tall it is.
Yeah, we see more of the creature in this one. Not in terms of like seconds on camera, but literally more of its form.
Yeah.
And you're like,
good God.
Jesus, that thing is huge.
I love that the crew members of the original movie called it Lollipop, so now that's what its name is in my head. We could just go with Smile Demon or Smile Entity.
Entity.
Either one works.
Yeah, either one.
I'm sure there'll eventually be a movie where it'll be given some sort of ancient name because
yes,
that's how these stories tend to escalate.
Babalazukanon or something.
Yep.
You know?
I did like the twist that nothing in the movie really happened. Okay, so there's this guy who's trying to help her, and this person is trying to stop her heart so that the thing will leave her or whatever. But it turns out none of this actually happened.
Yeah.
This was all in her head. She also didn't kill her mom like she thought she did. Basically nothing from the point she does her first choreographed dance actually happened. That's a great twist for this second movie.
Yeah. If you did it again, it would get annoying.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think that's the shaky ground the franchise is in.
Yeah. It's like this next step has to be done perfectly, and it's a really hard step to make.
Yeah. Final thoughts on Smile 2?
Pretty good. Solid flick. This movie does have one major glaring problem.
What's that?
It came out the same year as The Substance.
I mean, I feel like every horror movie has that problem.
Yeah, but especially one that has themes of fame and narcissism, borderline personality disorder, and things like that. It's like, ooh, we're kind of stepping on each other's toes here, and The Substance is so crazy at the end, that you find yourself comparing the two.
I was mainly comparing it to the first movie when I was watching it.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's the only real it's the only real problem that the movie has. So in and of itself, great flick. We're gonna find you, Count Jackula. Oh, glad you asked. You can find me on Blue Sky, countjackula.bsky.social, and I also stream here on YouTube most weekdays weekdays at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Y'all know me, I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Blue Sky, Twitch, Instagram, Threads. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, if you decide to go the Patreon route, even $1 a month can go a long way. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below using the hashtag FameMonster. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, peace out, and we'll catch y'all later.